Hey, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope it's not as humid as it's here. And I'm back. This is Girls' Generation Starcards Sorting Season 1, 2, and 2.5 because I have an issue. If you've seen either of my previous videos, I am sure you're already aware of that though, because that's going to be the common theme throughout all videos here. I have sorted the star cards probably the same way as everyone else. Season 1 is what we're currently looking at. Next will be Season 2, and Season 2.5 will be at the very end. Within the seasons, I have sorted them by number. I'm not sure if you can read it, but at the bottom right of the cards there is a small number. So for Season 1, it will be the first two letters of a member's name, so in this case TA for Taeyeon or TI for Tiffany, followed by the set number. This is set 3, so it's HY003 for Hyohyun, for example. There are multiple sets with different versions for Season 1 due to rarity, but I have to introduce it to someone. Look at it! I am so happy to be able to introduce you to SO004, my first autographed Soyoung star card. I don't even have words to describe how utterly excited I am. Still, I have to look at this card multiple times for no reason. I've just, taken my binder out and admired my own collection for a little bit, which I think is fair, as so on. The autographed star cards, the piece cards, and obviously the white border cards have always been such high priority items. It's crazy to add one of them to your collection. Back to what we were talking about before I got distracted by Soyoung. This is one of the sets where there is multiple versions, and all of the sets that have multiple versions are quite similar still. If you look on the left, you can see the back of the set I'm sorting currently. The left is normal. There's the member name written in color on the back of each of the cards. And if you pay very close attention, when I turn the page after I put Sohyun in, the same name is no longer just written colored, but it's a colored foil. Mind blown, I know. For sets with multiple versions, the card number stays the same. For example, this is currently set 006 as normal version, and then again as holo version on this page. When organizing sets with multiple versions, I sort them by rarity. So normal would always go first and then be followed by holo, and in case there is an etched version, etched would go last because etched has the highest rarity out of the cards. This is only applicable for Season 1 because Season 1 is the only season that has multiple versions of the same sets. Season 2.5 is doing something different, but you'll see it when we get there. I feel like I found and purchased the missing Yuna for this set, but honestly I would have to go and check my notes on that because I am not actually 100% sure. The star cards are quite hard for me to keep track of, which I wanna blame on there being multiple versions for sets, so remembering which member you are missing for each version is kind of a lot of effort. I was also not able to find a complete template for the star cards, and because I don't want to have 1,000 different photos in my folder, I have made my own notes to keep track of all the members, all the versions, and all the sets I'm missing cards for. For the set I'm currently doing, I actually prefer the back over the front. I'm not sure why it's like, I feel also the front looks like a back picture to me with all the notes and the info. I don't know, that seems like something that would be on the back of a card. Of course, though, the number has to face forward, so they're still in this way. This is set 008, which is another set that has 3 versions. The normal version I already did. This is currently the holo version, and on the next slide is going to be the check holo version. I am not sure if you can tell that this is the holo version. I feel like Sohyun is one of the better cards to tell because she has so many buttons, but only the metal parts of the outfit were actually foiled with either holo or check holo. Honestly, if this wasn't Girls' Generation, I probably would feel like the difference between the normal set and the check holo set, or even the holo, even just the normal holo set, would be too insignificant to rectify making it a new set, especially making it 3 sets. I mean, it's God's Generation, so it's fine. I'll buy all of them. I look for them and beg someone to take my money. I do feel they could have put a little bit more effort and maybe scratch the 3rd different set of some of them or all of them and give us another photo shoot, another outfit, another pose, just something a little bit more different. 010, the set I'm doing right now, also has 2 versions, and it's again one of the name foiled ones. So if you see in the top right, there's a colored name, which for the normal version is just normally colored. And now if you look at this Jessica card, it is foiled and colored. Yay! It's vastly different. Obviously I needed all of them, and as you can tell, I've successfully completed that task. These are the last cards for the Starcard Season 1. I do have a bit of an issue with them because according to the information I found, there's 18 of these group cards, but I have a group card that is called 019, which it starts at 001, so you would assume that there's 19 cards. I still wasn't able to find out how many group/unit photo cards there are. If you know, if you have them all, please let me know. I'd love to have a template to see what I'm actually missing. You'll be able to see on the next page. I have a suspicion of what I'm missing, but that would actually mean that there are 19 cards, and I'm holding very dearly onto the idea that they wouldn't do 19 cards. It has to be a nicer number than that. You can't tell yet, but actually the top left card has the same pink scratch back as the page previously, which is why I'm a little bit afraid it might actually be 19. The next 3 cards on the back all have different 3-member units. These cards I'm currently putting in have 3 members colored, and this is the same card as the one that's already in the binder, but there's different 3-member units on the back. So I seem to be missing one of the 3-member units. I'm sorry, distraction. It's Tiffany. It's my signed Tiffany card. Look at it. It is so cute. This is probably one of my favorite sets, which is kind of horrific because it's signed, but oh my god. That means one of my favorite sets is also one of the most expensive sets, and it's gonna be so much harder to say no if I ever come across another one of these cards. If you remember what I said before, the group cards were the last cards of Season 1, so this, what I'm currently sorting, is already Season 2. The Science Tiffany was bringing in the new season that we're currently looking at. You could probably tell by the Run Devil Run set that I did first and the old Check Hollow set that I'm doing now. But Season 2 is already looking vastly different to the cards from Season 1. The photo shoots are a lot more, I want to say detailed, but there's more background and it feels like there's more work involved for someone like me who has absolutely no idea what's happening. But Season 1 was very plain, so Season 2 to me is an upgrade. This is another one of my favorite sets. I don't know what it is, but the O era is doing something for me. Next we have the O cheerleader outfit. I feel this is a very iconic look that most people that are into K-pop would recognize. At least if you've been in K-pop for a while. I'm sure you've seen these outfits before at one point or another. At the same time though, I've been in K-pop for a long time, and to this day there's not a single boy group that I can name all members of. So I apparently cannot be mad if you don't recognize those outfits, but it's God's generation, so I feel like you should know them. No shame if you don't, and then look them up after this video. Or now. Who am I to tell you when to do it? That video is better than mine by a couple 100%. This is the next set. This is the SPAO or SPAO shoot. I am actually not quite sure how to pronounce it. Either way, if I remember correctly, this is an ad for a clothing line, brand, whatever they did, that was called SPAO or SPAO. I only saw Girls' Generation and I didn't actually care about the clothes, if I'm completely honest. I feel like I'm more perceptive to what they're advertising now than I was back then. Moving on to some unit photo cards that actually fit into a 9-pocket page. I'm gonna give you a second to think about what possibly could be the right amount of cards that is going to be on this page. Take your best guess. Put it in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's 9 unit photo cards. Woohoo! 1 round of applause. And then we have 3 group photo cards, which is already what happened. Like we just figured out that we need 9 cards to put on the page, and then we continue and we immediately ruin it. But for some reason it feels like they planned it, because at the end we're gonna come back to having a perfect 9-pocket page full of one set, which I am incredibly happy about, that they were able to recognize it themselves and add the unit sets accordingly. In an ideal world, obviously the 9 group photo cards would have been on the same page and not spread over 3, but we take what we can get. But yeah, these are the calendar cards. And then we move on to another one of my favorite sets, because I think they're adorable. It's the chibi holos. I mean, look at those cute little figures. They're so adorable. Oh. They're also so hard to find. I am so grateful for the person who sold me so many cards. I feel like most of the cards in this video are from the same person. I think I mentioned that in the video I did before already, that I found someone who sold me a ton of their extras. I don't actually think they sold me anything from their own collection, because I remember when we talked they mentioned for one of the cards I'm missing that they only had their own version left and they wouldn't sell it. So their collection must be incredible. This is the 2010 World Cup set, which is the base set for Season 2. These are the cheapest and easiest to find cards from Season 2. They're everywhere. You can get them for a couple of cents for most people. I'm not into football, but if you're looking to complete any of these sets, these are probably the ones you can get the easiest and for the least amount of money if you want a full set. And it's still Girls' Generation. Even though it's football themed, the cards look great. And this is also the last set for Season 2, the 9 pocket page full of group cards. What more can I ask for? Moving on to Season 2.5, which in my opinion is rightfully called 2.5 and not Season 3. While we have added a new photo shoot, which is the one I'm sorting currently, and from which I will be sorting a couple more sets later on, there is something that is gonna become visible very soon that, in my opinion, makes this season not a full season by itself. I did find some information about the card distribution on a site called Sochi Catalog, where they said one set came with 15 packs and each pack had 5 collection cards and 1 bingo card. So if you open all 15 packs, they calculated that with the 153 cards you opened, you would get, on average, 60 base cards, 7 foil cards, 4 holo cards, 3 mat cards, and 1 micro card. It doesn't even account for autographed cards. I'm not sure if it is public how many there actually are, but just from that information you can tell how vastly different your chances are at finding certain cards and what is causing the price spikes between different sets, especially for Season 1 when it's technically the same shoot, but it's just the rarity of the cards that is causing the incredible price difference. I really want to know though how long they spent on this shoot, or all the sets I'm currently putting in, because I can't imagine it took a long time for someone that knows how to pose in front of a camera to take 8 usable photos. Moving on. Maybe the first card was already enough for you to recognize why I kept saying that I don't think that Season 2.5 is a full season. Season 1 repeats within itself, and they just slightly change the finish of the card to holo or add foiling. And this season they take inspiration or the photos from Season 2. But maybe that's why it's called 2.5. It's not technically a full third season. The numbering is different, but especially if I turn over to the next page, you can already see towards the back that there are potentially a few more sets to come that we've already seen before. I'm just leaving it there. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you didn't. Kinda depends on if you fast forwarded the video or skipped to the end, which I'm sorry if you did, it's not going to get better. It was already peak video at the beginning. It's only gonna go downhill from there. If you want a recap of all the important things you missed though, I think there's only one, and that was, if you don't know the pink cheerleader outfit from O Era, go and watch that Girls' Generation video, because you should know that. It's iconic. I still do have to say, I really like this set. I think I mentioned it when I did Season 2. If I didn't, I might have cut that out after. I'm losing my thoughts sometimes when talking, so I have to make a cut and then delete something to make a somewhat coherent video, which, as you notice, still hasn't turned out great. I assume, editing me will have to figure that out, but based on the vibes I'm getting right now while talking, this has been way less informative than I planned for this to be. I wanna thoroughly apologize for that. I don't think it's gonna get better in the next 10 to 500 videos, I assume. Could be longer though. The voiceover is by far my least favorite thing about these videos. I actually have to make myself do them because I enjoy it so little to not at all. It's just talking to a microphone and there's no one that is talking back is a really weird experience, and it makes me quite uncomfortable. If I could, I would probably prefer to do the talking while filming. While I'm filming, this is my first time sorting it in my binder, so it's the first time I'm noticing certain things. And filming it after and doing the voiceover after is taking a little bit of that away. I have actually tried doing maybe 2 or 3 videos while talking during unboxing or sorting, and as you can tell, they're not on this channel. I couldn't have salvaged them in editing. At least if I could have, it would have been even more work than what I'm doing now. I have a tendency to talk during the parts where I'm not showing anything in the video as well. Usually, I'd say about 80% of the time when my hand leaves the screen, I make a cut. And then the next 2 to 3 seconds is me taking up the new photo card that I'm gonna show. And then I verify on my template that that's actually the card I'm supposed to put in next. It just takes a second, like I said, 2 or 3 seconds maybe. If you think about this video and imagine that every time after my hand leaves the screen, there's 2 to 3 more seconds that you have to watch and wait through, that would be really annoying after a while. If I talk while filming, I end up talking during the times it takes me to pick up the next photo card as well. And honestly, I think I talk more during that time when I'm not focused on placing the card into the correct spot in the binder. But that means that I won't be able to cut out those parts where you don't see me doing anything, as that's the only time when I'm actively talking. And I also can't replace the audio from the parts where I don't say anything with the audio of me talking during the breaks, because you can hear the background sounds like me flipping the page, me sliding the photo card into the binder. And if I match and mix the audio, it won't align anymore, and what you're hearing is not gonna be matching what you're seeing on screen at all. And that is arguably worse than what you're currently hearing. I might try filming while talking again at some point in the future, but currently talking into a microphone is still too scary, so I'll be holding off on that for now. I think this is the right time where I can go back to something I mentioned earlier, because by now I think it's obvious what I meant when I said that Season 2.5 is deservedly called Season 2.5 and not Season 3. We haven't gone through all the sets yet, but I can already tell you Season 2.5 consists of 17 sets total. 9 of those are taken from Season 2 with minimal changes, and most of them really have not changed whatsoever. And the 8 new sets were all taken from the same photo shoot, pretty obviously, and it looks like they only spent 30 minutes. Every member only got 1 outfit and 1 set of props, if even a full set of props. For example, Jessica got plants and a painting. The plants she had to share with Sunny, and the painting she had to share with Yuri. Whereas Sohyun only got a guitar and nothing else. And it's the same guitar in all the photos. And I can't imagine taking 8 photos of the members is gonna take very long. Plus you have, I think, 6 unit photos and 3 group photos, which is also minimal effort involved. Still a big fan of the chibi cards. I still think they're so cute. This is one of the very few sets / cards that they changed from Season 2 to Season 2.5. I am not sure if you remember, but in Season 2 these actually came with a check hollow patterned background instead of a plain one, which I think is way more fun. So this is one of the only changes they made, and I like it less. So it wasn't even an improvement. They just made it less fun. Having said all that, I do have to admit that I'm not mad at the new sets from season 2.5. All the little doodles on the photo cards and the different versions, I'm gonna use this very loosely, they created to make the sets different, I actually really enjoy. It is very obvious that it's the same photo shoot, but every card has something that makes it a little special, and it's super easy to identify which set is which. Even though they're wearing the same outfits and they have the same props in all of them, you're never confused if that Taeyong cards belongs with this set or if it should go with a different set. The doodles and the editing make it very obvious. I did the calculations though to figure out how many cards I am still missing of each member, and at this moment in time we are missing 9 Taeyons, 9 Jessicas, 11 Sunnies, 7 Tiffany's, 8 Hyohyuns, 9 Yuris, 8 Soyoungs, 13 Yunas, 9 Sohyuns, and 1 unit photo card. That is assuming that the photo card 018 that I was talking about earlier during the sorting of season 2 is in fact the only unit photo card I am still missing. I will confirm that hopefully sometime this week. If you have any signed Girls' Generation star cards that you want to sell, or you know someone who does, please let me know. And that's everything I have. I hope you were just as satisfied as I was putting the cards into the binder. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye!